So I'm just recording this literally immediately after my Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2 video. I didn't have time to put this at the beginning of the next pre-stream because there's so much to talk about already. So I thought I'd do like a TV block. And there's our second part is Andor. I think I've spoken on Andor in the past in terms of Star Wars. Is a franchise which I grew up with. Clone Wars, the movies. I like the original trilogy a lot. I like Rogue One a lot. And I'm the sort of fan where I can take it or leave it with a lot of Star Wars content. I have not seen Acolyte. I have no intentions of watching it because I don't want to. Purge is not great. So I was like, I'm good. I haven't seen... I saw Skeleton Crew, which was good. I thought that was a really good TV show, in fact, that more people should see. But Andor was the shining light. The beacon that Star Wars needed. What perfect music to play right now for probably the most adult-orientated Star Wars media we've ever gotten, at least on a big screen. Or a small screen, I guess, in this case, because it streams. Outside of like the Ewok movies, which were kind of dark and scary. I remember those movies. But yeah, I saw Season 1 when it came out. Excellent. Pacing was really good. Like, we got 3 episodes and then the payoff at the end. People didn't like that because the pacing was really slow. I can kind of understand that going into it because you don't expect it with Star Wars to be like that. But by the end of the show, you'll be like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is some of the best writing I've seen for a Star Wars show, let alone like TV in general. Like, the writing's really good here. Character arcs are more interesting than action scenes in this show. There's not that many in terms of action scenes anyway, because of the realism I feel that they throw at Andor. It's really cool to see. Really fun. But that's not talking about Season 2. This is just all lead up to me talking about this. So this is a year after the last everything that happened on in Ferrex, where the riot transpired, and we kind of see multiple different storylines here. The main 3 ones we have are Mon Mothma on Chandrila, which is probably the best one in my opinion. We've got the big stuff. I guess 4 actually. Yeah, we've got the big stuff with the farm and that kind of lingering sense of dread that follows that group. And then we've got Cassian's like little adventure on Yavin 4 with all those rebels who were not very good at communicating. We'll go through it in reverse order since the storylines don't really collide a lot outside of the Cassian and the big storyline. But we'll start with that. So I didn't love the Yavin 4 plotline. I understand what they were doing. They were showing a different group of rebels who were not great at communicating. I think my issue with it, there wasn't really a whole lot of payoff to that in this arc. We'll probably get more down the line because it is on Yavin 4. So we'll probably have Cassian return there at some point. But it really felt like a roadblock rather than an actual plot point, which is sad. I don't think we really added that much to this part. It doesn't need to have Cassian there. If there was more bearing on the plot, again, there might be. Just for now, though, however, it didn't really feel like it had a point to show outside of showing that rebels, some of them are like really bad at what they do. I like the new TIE fighter. There was that whole part in Rebels where we got to see them like create a new TIE fighter. So again, to kind of see something like that here as well, a lot of fun. That whole action scene in the beginning of episode 1 was really good. Watching Cassian escape there. Knowing his fate now, it is amazing how many near misses he had until when he would eventually die in Rogue One. The big storyline, which will then tie in with the end of episode 3. Really, really good. I always enjoy seeing a microcosm of the Empire's influence on the galaxy. Seeing like how they influence the world, all these different planets, The planet itself is really cool, like a giant harvest globe, basically, like just filled with wheat. We got to see like a exterior shot, but it's just a never-ending fields of not wheat, obviously, but some manner of agricultural thing. Seeing the Empire's influence, it like dealing with the trades, the nuance behind like them allowing illegals to work there because they need the trade to be done, they need the harvest to be complete. And then like the lingering sense of dread, like slowly the inspection catches up with our main characters until it reaches a crescendo in episode 3, as Andor tends to do with these 3-part storylines. And unfortunately we lose Basso in a death scene that I think is really subdued, but well done. He dies doing something very small, saving that family from persecution from the Empire because they think they're smuggling illegals. He stops that from happening and gets them out of there. But unfortunately, I saw a good comment on this as well. He doesn't escape. He gets on a speeder, tries to get away from them. We think he survives because we watch Cassian shoot them, the stormtroopers, but we don't see what happened to Basso, and he gets shot and dies, unfortunately. He's not some super-powered individual, he's not a Jedi. He's a guy who tried to do a good thing and is now dead. Rest in peace, man who threw a brick at who hit a stormtrooper with a brick and gave that very manly yell at the end of season 1. What a legend. But the bigger thing here, outside of Brasso's death, is their handling of sexual harassment, which is a surprising theme I did not expect us to get in a Star Wars show. And I like it. I don't like, what happens in it, but I like that the show is willing to go that far to tackle these themes. There's a lot of discourse around it that it makes people feel uncomfortable. It should make people feel uncomfortable. This stuff needs to be shown. If it doesn't get shown, then there's going to be limited awareness of it, I think. And showing that an empire is, awful, which we already know it is because it kills millions of people. I mean, God, we had that Gormon plotline where they're gonna like drench those people dry of their resources and destroy them. Like, sexual harassment does not feel like an entirely out of realm possibility with these Imperials. They use their power for their own malicious intent. And one of the most malicious things an individual can do is this. So seeing that, them saying the R word was crazy in a Star Wars show, but I really respect it. I respect Tony Gilroy and all the writers. I'm also glad that Bix is the one who was able to get out of that as well. Like, she didn't get rescued by the kid. She got out of that herself. And it's nice for Bix to get a win herself without being rescued for once. I'm a lot more interested in her character after everything that she's gone through. And I hope that she doesn't have an awful death and she gets to have some manner of peace in this show. And isn't just fuel for Cassian to develop. Because they would kind of suck for everything she's gone through. But we'll see. I think Brasso's death is going to really influence them. And then... Oh, I need to talk about Deidre and the other guy who I forget the name of. I don't know. I'm not great with names in this show. I like the storyline. It's very subdued, very small scale. I think we're going to get a lot more of Deidre in the later arcs, where she actually gets to do fun Imperial stuff. But in this, we're mainly seeing the fallout of what she did on FedEx, and how she still has a position, but now she's being forced to work in the Gormon case, where it feels like she isn't being used in a way where she wants to. And maybe we'll see more of that as the plot goes on. But that whole scene of her having dinner with her boyfriend's mother, and her assigning control, as she tends to do, was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. Let's talk about the best part of the episode, of the 3 episodes. And not a part I was expecting to enjoy as much as I did. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Mon Mothma stuff in season 1 until the end. And I think it was really gripping, the drama behind it. towards the end, once I had experienced the entire thing. But this season is the best part of the show, in my opinion, so far. The writing has been excellent. Again, to see Luthen in like his pseudo visage for 3 episodes is a lot of fun. Probably the most we're going to see of that, I assume. And seeing Mon Mothma's schemes, her plans in the public eye slowly falling apart as her business partner, her childhood friend, slowly falls away from her, and unfortunately at the end, she knows that Luthen has to kill this guy because he'll tell everyone about what the rebels have done and now ruin everything. We see Cinta at the end, and well, that obviously goes there. Oh my god, this music is not good for this. Anyway, I mean, there was the rave music at the end. They used that song from season 1 on that beach planet. That was great. It was sad. It was really sad. That scene with Mon Mothma and her kid, Leader, and Leader saying, "I wish you were drunk," was a fucking gut punch. And then at the end, that's exactly what Mon Mothma did. She is losing everything, and she just decides, fuck it. I'm gonna have the time of my life right now. I'm just going to ignore my problems for a couple of seconds and just start dancing like crazy. And like that visual of her dancing, like she hasn't got a smile on her face. She's in a daze, like just ignoring her problems in that moment. It's fantastic. Love it. I love that whole scene. I love how it plays in with the Cassian stuff as well, with that ending on the Crop Planet. But this is great so far. The first 3 episodes of Andor Season 1 were good. These are even better, I think. I cannot wait to see what the next 3 arcs are going to be. Because so far, excellent. I don't even know how far the time jump is going to be, because I feel like not everything got resolved, but I guess we're going to see stuff post-Gormon with Deidre, what Mon Mothma's up to. Maybe Yavin 4 will show up again. We'll see. But that's it for Andor. Great 3 episodes, fantastic TV show, and I am sad to see Tony Gilroy go, but I'm going to be following him to see what he does next, because he is an excellent writer for this IP.